Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In the 60 years of it started in 1957 with the NFL MVP. In the 60 years of the award, uh, I did some research to find out because all of this talk about, about who's going to be NFL MVP. Well, we already know they're going to give it to Brady. Carson Wentz got hurt. Uh, Todd Gurley didn't even play, which I think he could have actually made a case, had a dynamic game against the 49ers, and I think he probably could have actually done something extraordinary against them, but that didn't happen. So it's going to go to Brady, which ironically enough, they had already clinched. And it's so funny they actually clinched, and he still goes out there playing. But they try to put Brady in this whole other thing like he's above that. Say no, he's not above that. He wants all the records. Brady wants everything, and that's the rub in the nose of everybody who said he wasn't anything. And he wants to try to get every award. He wants that third one. Yes, then he'll be two behind Manning getting five because I still don't see him going to end up getting five, but he wants that. That's why Brady wants to keep on playing so he wants to accumulate every record he possibly can. And so Brady's going to get his third MVP coming up in the next few weeks. But which brings me to this topic at hand right now, which is just far gone. In the 60 years that this award has been presented, right? You have had 28 different quarterbacks that have won this award. 28. 28 different ones. If you break it down, a lot of these you've had over 8 quarterbacks that have won it multiple times. Okay, 8 quarterbacks that won it multiple times. Now you go back, you got Manning won 5, Favre won 3, Unitas won 3, Brady is going to win 3, Steve Young 2. Uh, what we got here? What's this guy? Because my writing is bad on there. You got Rogers who's 1-2. You have Warner who's 1-2. And you got one of these other guys. I'll get to it, but I think Kurt Warner's 1-2. And that's who that those are the people that has won this particular award and everything. First person to ever win the award when the award first came out was Jim Brown. He won it 2 years in a row. Okay, won it 2 years in a row. So that was the running back that is actually that has won that award. Now, having said that, what gets me more than anything was the mere fact that you have these guys who win these awards, and it's like they keep playing these games. They keep playing these games as if to say that, oh, it's going to be like this different quarterback that's going to actually, like it's going to be like it's competition from somewhere else. No, they may as well just rename the thing for who's the best because it's been 50 altogether 50 quarterbacks, and I'm including the people that has won it multiple times. So altogether in the 60-year history of the game, it's been a quarterback that has been a quarterback in that seat 50 times. 50 times, you know? And so when you break it down, that's who they're gonna, that's definitely who they're gonna eventually end up giving it to. Like I said, yeah, Montana, he won it twice. It was Montana won it twice. So you think of all of the different quarterbacks, I say 28 different quarterbacks that won it, and like I said, 8 different quarterbacks that won it twice. You had Manning has won it 5 times, and you're gonna have Favre won it 3, Unitas won it 3, and Brady's gonna end up winning it 3. There's won it multiple, even over 3 times. You have, at least, that amount of time. You've had 15 different running backs that was named that, and it's been 17 that's held that seat. Jim Brown did it twice. He did it twice. And it was, like I said, 15 other running backs that won. And you had one linebacker, Lawrence Taylor won the NFL MVP. First player ever did it was Alan Page of the Minnesota Vikings once. And you had a kicker, which to this day I have no, I don't get. I know it was a strike shortened season, but to give it to Mosley, to this day, even back then, I couldn't believe they even did that, but they did that. shouldn't have even seen that, whatever. But this award obviously is strictly for quarterbacks. They should just sit up there and just make it NFL quarterback of the year award because it's an MVP. I said, you're not going to tell me a lot of times that this is the best player in the league. You say the best quarterback. They literally this quarterback, this award is who's the best quarterback in the league. Because they're not giving, like I said, in all the years, it's been 15 play, been 17 running backs altogether in this league. And this was a league that was driven by that of running backs and whatnot and for years. But then a quarterback came in, it's like, and that's fine. But I'm like, it's like you may as well stop even putting just alleviate everybody else because the number's going to show you right there who they're going to give it to. It's gonna be Brady. It's gonna always be a quarterback. Because if it wasn't gonna be Brady, it was gonna be Wentz. And if Seattle had any of it, probably would have been Russell Wilson. But Todd Gurley would have had to do something extraordinary to even do that. I mean, even go back to the great Dan Marino and what he did and what Eric Dickerson did. Eric Dickerson went 2105. They still gave the nod to Dan Marino because he obliterated the touchdown mark and he obliterated the yards mark that stood for eons until Drew Brees broke it with 48 more attempts. That's what people don't know. So it's like, but it is what it is. But I just find that interesting and whatnot of that award. And sometimes and I think I brought out because I talked about in the thing about Antonio Brown was not going to win the award, and it definitely really hurt him with him being hurt. But I also brought out that back, and I want to say, oh man, what year that was? That was one of them years. Had to be 87, was it? I think 87. John Elway was the NFL MVP, and he didn't even have that great of a year. Jerry Rice, who never won the award, won Offensive Player of the Year, but should have won the award at least a couple times as a wide receiver. He should have won it, but they gave it to John Elway and whatnot, which I found that was pretty wild that they give it to him based upon if you looked at the stats compared to what he did. I mean, they went to a Super Bowl that year, and that's okay, that's fine. But we're talking about Jerry Rice and what he did that year. What he did that year, and as opposed to what somebody like John Elway did in that of in 87. And so it's like, so I just find it's crazy because you look at 1987. Yeah, he caught 22 touchdown passes in 12 games. I mean, what else do you want him to do? You know what I'm saying? What else? Really, what else did you want him to do? All he could do. John Elway went 8-3-1 as a quarterback. He threw for 3,198 yards. He threw for 19 touchdowns. That's pedestrian, and he threw for 12 picks. Pedestrian, but they couldn't give it to, but they didn't give it to Jerry Rice, who caught 22 touchdowns in a strike shot. That hadn't been done. It took Randy Moss 20 some odd years later for all 16 games to break the record. This dude catches 22, and you don't give him the MVP. You end up giving it to John Elway. Come on, man. And another time that the Rice supposed to have won it. And I'm like, these are the things I'm talking about. I say, and so funny. And this kind of goes back to my last topic in a little bit because the establishment NFL has an issue with dual threat quarterbacks. That, like I said, I've already said they're here to stay. So you're not going to do anything with that. They're here to stay. They have an issue with that. But you go back and let me look this thing up real quick about with the great Jerry Rice. I mean, Jerry Rice led the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in yards. And this year, in 1 year in '95, they gave it to Brett Favre, who had a great year that year. I know he did and everything. They gave it to Brett Favre for '95, and it's like Favre 11-5, 4,000 had a hell of a year. So they gave it to him and everything. 4,413 yards, 38 touchdowns, great led the league, all of that stuff. I mean, Favre did what Favre did, but that also they could have easily have gave that to Jerry. They could have easily have given that to Jerry Rice. And I went back and I did this research. on the NFL MVP in 1990, which in some cases it depends because they got two different teams. The AP, that's the main one that everybody looks at, Associated Press, right? That's the main one that everybody looks at. And so when you look, so you go and I looked at, and you had you also had what was it, the guy, the another Pro Football Writers Association, they picked the MVP. They picked Randall Cunningham. Now the Eagles went 10-6 that year. Associated Press actually picked Joe Montana. They actually picked him to to be the NFL MVP. And what I found that was extraordinary, or what I found out, because football is such as this major team game, as they say, right? Montana, that particular year, right? Montana in 16 games, well, he started 15, he played one, went 14-1, 61.7 completion rate, 3,944 yards, passing, 26 touchdowns, and Montana threw for 16 picks, which is kind of uncharacteristic of Montana. He threw 16 picks that year, surrounded by a lot of talent. So right, George Seifert as his coach, who just took over the reins. You got Craig, you got Taylor, you got the great Rice, you got all of them guys there, and of course the defense and stuff like that. Over there with the Philadelphia Eagles, you had Randall Cunningham, who had a mammoth year. And this was the type of year that somebody like Cam would have, or I thought somebody Vince Young and all them other guys would have. But this is your original dual threat quarterback. Cunningham, 3,466 yards passing. He threw for 30 touchdowns, 13 picks. He rushed for 942 yards, and he had 5 touchdowns, so he counted for 35 touchdowns. Montana, 3,944 yards, 26 touchdowns, 16 picks, like I talked about. Had 162 yards rushing, one touchdown. He accounted for 4,106 yards, 27 touchdowns in total. Cunningham, 35 touchdowns in total on a 10-6 team that had no offense but him. Always had mediocre receivers, never a very good line, not a real strong running game, but they always had the defense. Buddy Ryan always had the defense, and like I said, that was the downfall of Buddy. But they gave that to they ended up giving that to Montana, when clearly that Randall should have actually got that MVP award, but they gave it to Montana because he's already on a team that's winning with all these guys, as opposed to he's the only offense where he's the only offense on the field. And he did everything that year. They tried to stop him, and Rich Kotite will come in the next year and want Randall to stay in the pocket only for him to get hurt. So, and we know the rest is history. Randall makes his great comeback and stuff like that. But you think about what Randall did when he should have been winning, I think, like I said, pro footballs, pro writers or whatever it's called. He made that, made the team, and all this other kind of stuff. So it's the different things that he did that was something that he actually did. So when you start talking about Randall Cunningham, like I said, he should have actually won that particular award, but of course he didn't. But I was just saying that there's still, even the biases back then, even up to now, is an issue with the whole quarterback, with the quarterback being a dual threat. It's an issue with that. And you'll see that with all these people, with these guys coming out in college and everything coming into pros, it's an issue with the old guard and whatnot. Hey, if you could throw for 35 touchdowns, 40 touchdowns, hey man, that's great. Like Peyton Manning, man, that's great. That's great. But what's wrong if a quarterback comes in the league, throws for 3,000 yards, possibly rush for 7, 8, 900 yards, or even 1,000 yards, and he gives you 20 touchdowns throwing and gives you 20 touchdowns running? What's the issue? It's 40 touchdowns. His 40 touchdowns is just as good as a quarterback who just throws 40 touchdowns. What's the problem? But everybody has a problem with the dual threat quarterback, and need to stop having problems with him because he's here. So I just throw that little tidbit out there. But like I said, they just need to rename the NFL MVP award and just give it to quarterbacks, because again, it's been 50 quarterbacks in the 60-year thing of the award, 60-year award, 60 quarterbacks that has held that position. Some, like I said, again, it's been 8 quarterbacks that has won it multiple times. Manning winning the most at 5, and it's a few other guys have been 1, 2, 3, or 3 other guys that have won it 3 times. So, but it's been 50 quarterbacks altogether that's held that seat, and it's been what, around, like I said, about 50, yeah, 50 times a quarterback, literally, and then 15 different running backs, 17 running backs has held that seat altogether. So, and then a linebacker, defensive tackle, and that of a kicker. So the quarterback gets that award. That's a quarterback award, point blank. So they may as well just rename it to say the most valuable quarterback and go from there, and be done with it. And he'll probably, and he can also be offensive player of the year or whatever like that. But we just say this is just strictly for quarterbacks because that's who you're giving it to. Or either just say most valuable quarterback, most valuable running back, and then whoever is the offensive player of the year or whatever, however you want to do it. But I'm like, that's who it's for. It's for the NFL. It's for the quarterback. I want to thank everybody for following me and subscribing to my page, YouTube page, Everything Football 62. Hey, if you can leave comments, I normally answer back, whether they good or bad or whatever. Keep subscribing. Really appreciate it. Really love the love that I'm getting. Like I said, a couple of not that long ago, I think I had like 2 or 3 people, and I'm getting, I'm up, got up there maybe right at 60, 61 or something like that, which is cool. I'm gonna keep trying to crank out these videos, get better quality for you guys and everything, and go from there. That's one of the main things I want to try to do. Check me out on Twitter, Everything Football 62, Untucked Man 62. Follow me there. Got anything to say? Say it to me, and we go from there, and we get up some dialogue about these different issues at hand. All right. Thank you.